overwhelming number of people after last night's debate tweeting and talking and commenting and calling on the subject of racism said India must now begin to accept that we have racism if we want to fight it. However, the politicians have taken a diametrically opposite position, in fact daring the African students here almost as it were to prove that these are instances of racism. Now, before I begin the debate, let me say here that we had somebody from Hyderabad and Bangaluru earlier who said that they were being racially targeted and that, you know, the students, the African students were being called black monkey. If that is not a racist comment, I don't know what is. You call a fellow human being black monkey and then the government says that this is a law and order issue. I don't know. Someone's really got to have their prejudices put out in public because there is racism. And so for a second consecutive night, we have the fight racism debate on the Newshour this evening, and Wumbey Mina, who's a member of the Association of African Students, put out that video, is joining us from Hyderabad tonight. R K Misra from the Navbharat Democratic Party from Bangaluru. Abigail Femi of the African Students Association is an activist, and Bosco Kaweesi, who's legal advisor to the All African Students Union, joining us from Bangaluru. Pavan Verma, JDU MP, Vikram Singh, former top cop of Uttar Pradesh, Ratan Sharda of the RSS, and Sudhanshu Trivedi. Now, Wumbey, let me start with you. You were very angry out there, and rightly so, and yet you find today that people are saying this is not racism. That the Africans in India have got it all wrong. The government, the politicians are all saying the Africans have got it all wrong. These are minor scuffles. This is not racism. So, Wumbey, to all those politicians, before we start the debate tonight, what would you say?
Thank you very much for this platform, and I would like to, just be very straightforward and be very honest in giving out my answers. I've heard a lot of comments from a lot of people, and I don't really know, but in a society where there is a problem and people are refusing to admit what is happening, people are refusing to admit that this that is ongoing is wrong. This problem that is ongoing, we have to accept and find a solution. Tell me, if you are denying it and you are encouraging the people, where is the solution? How are you going to find solution to it? It's a racist attack and it must be accepted. We can't deny it because it's clear.
They say it's not racist, Wumbey. They say it's, yesterday we had Bosco on the program. They say it's not racist. The Africans got it all wrong. Yeah. This is a small law and order problem. In fact, we had a very senior minister who says that African students create trouble in India. That they indulge in all kinds of activities. What would you say to them?
He has his opinion saying it's not a racist attack. Fine, that is his opinion. But to me, it's a clear racist attack because the lady and her friends were attacked 30 minutes after the incident. Why do you think the mob attacked them? Because they were blacks. If they were not blacks, would they have been attacked? So describing that particular moment, do you tell me it's not a racist attack? So tell me, how do you describe that moment? How do you describe that particular incident? It's a racist attack, and I won't deny it.
Okay.
Of course, Africans indulge in a lot of crimes, but in every society, as I keep saying, something keeps happening where there is demand. And where there is demand, there is supply. Where there is supply, there is demand. So if you say Africans indulge in crime, what about the Indians? Are they not part of the whole game show? Of course they are. So if you are accusing Africans, you should accuse the other as well. For me, that is it.
Okay. Wumbey, I now give the floor to the other side. And the other side is represented by Ratan Sharda. Ratan Sharda, tell me, first of all, you can respond directly to, because I think you are among those who are in denial on the subject of racism. Now, let me ask you this. If an Indian student in the United States had been attacked because a fellow Indian was guilty of a crime and she had nothing to do with it, would you have called it a law and order issue or an act of racism? Or actually, let me put it this way, Ratan Sharda, even more specifically.
Arnab, let us...
If an Indian woman in the UK would be stripped, assaulted, manhandled, and left at the mercy of some riotous British mobs because a Pakistani man was guilty of drunk driving, would you call it a law and order issue or an act of racism?
Arnab, first of all, let me say what has happened is highly condemnable. Whether it's the women of Indian society or a Bangalorean society, I'm getting an echo. So, in such a case, it is always condemnable. Whether it's African or Indian brethren, it is highly condemnable. We must remember we have a very long tradition of thousands of years where we have welcomed all people from all over the world as part of Indian society. We have absorbed them, assimilated them. So it doesn't behoove an Indian society to be racist. Now,
then why are we racist?
To be taken as racist,
then why have we become racist?
You are yourself giving an example of US. I am saying you are calling it racist. There have been thousands of cases of road rage. The lady said that she was attacked because she was black. I know daily happenings on the road rage where any accident turns into ugly mob violence. So it's a mob mentality that is slowly arising for so many years. People are, for small issues.
Why are
there
you
is
in
mob
this state
violence
of
all
denial?
over India. This is
what
one
do
of
you
those
gain?
incidences.
No, why are you in this denial? You have this ostrich like approach. It makes you feel better.
Racism with India.
It makes people feel better. You feel better if you tell these African students, no, this is not racism. We are generally, we have a mob mentality in our country. If that is to be the case, sorry, no, if that is to be the case, if that is to be the case, please tell me.
Did US media go to town
please tell me.
when a police was acquitted? See, Arnab, don't get into rhetoric.
We are not the US.
USA,
we are not the US.
A black was hit on the ground. Okay, we are not US, we are India.
Yes.
So for us, for thousands of violence, this is one of the violent cases then.
Why are you
creating
about
a
racism
story
it makes
around
you feel worse? You answer my question.
One incident
you answer my question tonight. You answer my question tonight.
I am saying
you answer my question. Ratan Sharda.
What is your question? For one incident, you are trying to create a whole scenario of racism in India. We have accepted people from all over countries. Everywhere, if there is one incident, you cannot take all whole country as racist. How can you?
We are not calling the country racist, but
one incident is there, and
we are not calling the country racist.
Around this racism.
No.
You have nothing to say for targeted violence.
No, Mr. Ratan Sharda, now please stop. Now please stop. You made a fairly long intervention at the start. I heard you.
That is racism.
Mr. Ratan Sharda, now please stop.
You are disturbing me, so I have to keep on speaking.
So, Mr. Sharda,
either allow me a clear time to speak, or you will say I am speaking.
Without any disturbance.
I will not speak. Keep on alleging whatever you want. I am speaking on behalf of the Indian community. I am not speaking on behalf of any organization.
You says you are speaking on behalf of the Indian community. We are not the Indian community.
If you don't allow him to speak,
Pavan Verma is not Indian community. I am not part of the Indian community. Vikram Singh is not Indian community. R K Misra is not part of the Indian community.
You are also part of the Indian community.
Only the RSS is the Indian community.
I have my views.
Your views are flawed.
I am saying one incident cannot
Your
be
views
converted.
are flawed, and now please stop.
Don't bring RSS into this. Arnab, this is not fair. Don't bring RSS into this.
Don't
this is very
get
unfair.
worked up.
I came on the show clearly stating it's a national issue. It's nothing to RSS, nothing to do with. Why bring RSS everywhere? I am speaking as a citizen. I feel bad about a violent situation. I am saying one particular case
Mr. Sharda, have taken your time. Mr. Sharda, there are other panelists, please. Now,
as a black, I have faced such
my question tonight is this. My question tonight is this. Mr. Sharda, please, Mr. Sharda,
we have got
please, Mr. Sharda,
with everybody.
And now hear me. Pavan Verma, I put this question tonight. Wumbey Mina makes a very passionate intervention right on top of the debate tonight, and I'm asking you tonight, Pavan Verma, with this, I don't know whether I call this a hyper-conservative approach. It's not. It's just a narrow-minded approach. Because Pavan Verma, if an Indian woman beaten by a mob, if an Indian woman, her clothes torn off, stripped and paraded naked, would be denied entry into a bus in Australia, and the passengers participated in the beating, would we as a country be quiet if an Australian minister blamed Indians for the law and order problem in that country? It is the insensitivity of the kind of response of Ratan Sharda that shocks me tonight. But first, I would want to know if Wumbey would like to respond to the initial responses of Ratan Sharda. If either Bosco, 1 second, sir.
You cannot call it insensitivity.
1 second. I call it insensitivity. It's a democracy. I don't need your permission for that. Wumbey Mina, your response, please. You've heard the counter. You've heard the counter.
I don't need your permission.
Wumbey Mina is saying something to you, Ratan Sharda.
Please. You cannot put words in my mouth.
Please, Wumbey Mina is saying something to you. Go ahead, Wumbey.
Yeah, first of all, I'm really
Did you speak for
disappointed in his
American
Let her
release
speak
for violence against a black?
Let her speak.
I'm really disappointed in his words, as in when he was giving his response. It's like he's justifying the actions of the mobs. If an incident happens 30 minutes after and another African passes by and the mob attacks those people.
Correct. Lady, nobody said it. I said that is condemnable.
Of course, you said it's condemnable, but in some parts of your speech it was like you were defending the actions of the mob. I'll define racism in just 3 words.
Never one replay.
I'll define racism for you in just 3 words. For me, racism comes in 3 different ways.
Where have you defended it?
Intolerance, unacceptance, and injustice. That is my definition of racism. India as a country, I'm not generalizing everyone that everyone is a racist or something like that. But when there is a problem, the community needs to accept the fact that some of us are racist and fight towards it. Every country is a racist. You can't deny it. Even we Africans, we're racist among ourselves. So for us to find a solution, we have to accept our faults.
That's the point. Yeah,
so, Mister,
that's the point. That's the point. And just I want Pavan Verma to come into it. Should I open up the debate? Pavan Verma, R K Misra, Vikram Singh, Sudhanshu Trivedi, Bosco, and of course Abigail would also want to come into the debate. My problem tonight is the kind of the rigid response. Sudhanshu Trivedi and Pavan Verma, please, if I can start with you. Instead of condemning what was clearly a racist attack, we have the law minister, the BJP leader, accusing foreigners of engaging in illegal activities. Surely the incident of road rage is condemnable. But what does foreigners engaging in illegal activities have anything to do with the racist assault on a Tanzanian woman in the heart of Bangaluru? Pavan Verma, what's the link?
Arnab, I want to make 2 or 3 points very clearly. First of all, what happened is outrightly condemnable. And in the light of what happened, I find a statement made by Mr. Sadanand Gowda. This debate is not about politics, but I would consider it extremely insensitive. Instead of showing compassion or even a sense of introspection of why such an incident happened in a country like India, with a broad brush, he is saying that foreigners who are in India as students are indulging only in illegal activities. This from a union minister. Arnab, I have dealt with foreign students in my earlier capacities as DG ICCR, and I have been Joint Secretary Africa. We have over 50,000 students and nobody has kept an accurate count of students from abroad. Most of them are from Africa. And when they go back, they can be ambassadors for our country. Many of them occupy positions of great eminence in their country. They become our spokespersons. But what is the kind of treatment they receive in India is something we need to introspect about. And for that we need to be honest. The fact of the matter, Arnab, is that we, although a brown nation, are an extremely color-conscious nation. If you don't believe me, Arnab, look at the matrimonial ads in the Times of India. And we treat people of a different color, and in particular, I'm sorry to say this, on national television, students from Africa, there is a bias against them on the basis of color which demeans and devalues our entire civilizational legacy. So I am saying that unless we are honest about it, and this bias, Arnab, I want to say to you, is pervasive, it is aggressive, it is subtle, but it is tangible. The foreign student meets it at immigration, meets it when he has a police verification, meets it when she needs to go for a visa renewal, meets it in the university in terms of hostel facilities. These have been documented in a 2-volume report that I chaired, which is with the government. Now for the minister to say that an incident happened and all the foreign students are indulging in illegal activities, or for Mr. Ratan Sharda to say this is a matter of law and order and only road rage, is to deliberately deny the truth.
Why?
We will not come up with remedial measures until we are first honest about the fact that as a society, we are less than sensitive to people who are from different races.
I'd go one step
That's
further.
the classical definition of racism.
No, I would go one step further. And I would ask Sudhanshu Trivedi to tell all the viewers tonight why the Law Minister of India, BJP leader, has compounded an act of racist assault with a racist comment himself. We talk of Make in India, but Sudhanshu Trivedi, the Law Minister of India, has made a racist comment today, and not one word of questioning from your side. Sudhanshu Trivedi, by saying that foreigners are engaging in illegal activities and have overstaying their visa in India, the Law Minister of India is echoing the sentiments of the racist mob. That racist mob that paints all Africans with one racist brush. How can you have a racist Law Minister of the country, Sudhanshu Trivedi?
Very insensitive.
How can you have a racist Law Minister of India? You tell me, Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Arnab, I hope I will be allowed with...
Yes, but how can you have a racist comment from a union law minister?
Yes, I hope that
I think you should apologize for what he said.
Form as you have allowed Mr. Pavan Verma. Now, Arnab, I will speak, but I will expect the same uninterrupted amount as you have provided to Mr. Pavan Verma. Mr. Sadanand Gowda, whatever he has said, he is referring towards the anarchist, pathetic situation emerging in Karnataka. There is two concepts, incidents, and if you want to conceptualize, you should have to look at the background. Why this is happening consistently in Bangalore? This is not the first incident. You remember last year, there was a violence against Northeast people. They were forced to flee. What was that? There was a violence against Bihari people.
That was racism.
What was that?
That was a response. That was a response to an unchecked situation and an emergence of racism. Please understand what you're talking about. The students from the Northeast were the victims in that case.
Now I have said that you will be with the same unchecked. This is not. Don't be in media racism. Don't be in media racism.
Those students from the Northeast were the victims of racism.
Not to speak. ISIS handlers are emerging mostly for Bangalore.
My God.
This is the anarchist condition emerging.
I'm sorry.
In Karnataka.
One racist comment after another.
You are over.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Unfortunate event.
So what happened is the result
of the local police. That's why the Congress is not coming in the debate. And now you should make it very clear why the Congress is not coming in the debate. Because it is the total anarchy of Congress party, which is the ally of Mr. Pavan Verma. He should
Stop
respond.
the politics.
बिहारियों के खिलाफ क्या था? Racism नहीं था. North East के खिलाफ क्या था? Racism नहीं था. Why ISIS is coming? That's why a lynching mob attitude is taking such a grave turn. This is the sole responsibility of the state government. And second thing, I would like to say, try to realize the issue.
I have Bosco and Abigail respond. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at what you're saying. I'm really shocked at this kind of argument.
And he was addressing the floor of the parliament. He said, it is the inspiration of India which led Martin Luther King to lead a situation by which Barack Obama became the president of
America. Then live up to that inspiration. Live up to it.
And he has also appraised that it was Mahatma Gandhi who inspired to leaving apartheid. So please do not try to demean the image of India as racist. Try to realize, do not sensationalize.
From the
it is for our political opponents to realize the real situation in Karnataka and respond to not only one incident. I have reminded you 5-6 incidents.
First of all, I expect you. First of all, I think Sudhanshu Trivedi.
And our Home Minister,
Sudhanshu Trivedi,
very clear.
Sudhanshu Trivedi,
we are very much
Sudhanshu Trivedi,
we totally condemn that, and the Foreign Ministry has sent a delegation to Bangalore, and
okay, I heard you, Sudhanshu Trivedi. First of all, I think you should apologize once again, immediately, right now on the program to all the viewers, and especially all the African students who are on the program, and to Bosco, for broad brushing between the ISIS and Africans. Show me one speck of evidence, Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, on the basis of which you link the emergence of the ISIS
Arnab, you
to Africans. How can you make that remark?
Making India as a
How can you make that remark?
Which has been not said by anybody.
I'm sorry. That reveals your mindset, Mr. Trivedi.
Nelson Mandela. You should
No,
not
but
apologize.
Mr. Trivedi.
Making India a racist country.
Mr. Trivedi.
This remark is highly
Mr. Trivedi.
On which pretext you are saying?
Mr. Trivedi, I ask you.
The Northeast students were taken out or not? Is it fact or not?
Yes,
and the Northeast students were threatened in Bangalore and they were going in the bogies.
And in Delhi, sir, not only in Karnataka, in Delhi.
And what was that?
The Biharis were sent out.
And what was that? A law and order problem or racism?
So, satya ko samagra
I'm sorry, no, one second. Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi.
It is a law and order problem
Mr. Trivedi. R K Misra will respond. Pavan Verma wants to respond. Vikram Singh is free to come in. But Mr. Trivedi, remember this. When a Manipuri student was beaten up in Bangalore. I think the name was Mikhail Lamjathang was beaten up in Bangalore last year.
Kulbargi's death mein kya progress hai? No progress. Whether it is the death of Kulbargi, whether it is the persecution of Northeast person, persecution of Biharis, slapping of the SDM, that same thing happening with Africans.
Forget the politics.
This is the root cause of the problem.
Mr. Trivedi,
it is not the politics.
Okay. Now hear my rebut, Mr. Trivedi, I heard you. It is very surprising that you are not condemning Sadananda Gowda's comments. You are the political advisor to the Home Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, and let me recount what happened when Rajnath Singh went to Symbiosis College in Pune. On the 6th of September 2015, Rajnath Singh was informed by a student from South Sudan, a student called Simon Kweni, about the discrimination he faced in India by being referred to on college campuses as Blackie or Kalia. It was in response to this that Rajnath Singh made an appeal to all Indian students to treat African and other foreign students as their brothers. When ministers have personally received complaints of racism from foreign students in India, and they have reassured students, we cannot be blind, you cannot be blind to the fact that racism exists. Which is why the racist comments of Sadananda Gowda must be questioned tonight. R K Misra wants to respond to you. R K Misra, please. Yes, R K Misra, please. R K Misra.
Now we
I think
Arnab, comment should be taken.
R K Misra.
Anytime
Arnab,
the mob says something like this, you cannot generalize.
R K Misra is saying something.
The mob uses the word Sarkari. You cannot say that it is a revolt against the government.
Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, 1 minute. Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, understand this. When Nido Taniam, a student from Arunachal, was killed in Delhi, Narendra Modi called it a national shame and even said that Nido's death will awaken an entire nation's sentiment. Your law minister, on the other hand, has described what happened to the Tanzanian woman as a small issue. To parade naked a woman, strip her, beat her, assault her,
he has not
is a
said
small
anything.
Politics about Karnataka versus the rest.
What he was trying to say
not
is the
only
real
gender
pathetic anarchy
insensitive,
situation
you have a
in
racist
Karnataka.
law minister of India. You must take action against the racist law minister of India, not protect him on national television. R K Misra, please. R K Misra is responding to you, sir.
Arnab, the statements like which you just mentioned are the ones which create the stereotypes. What we hear, suppose this statement has been made that all Africans are involved in illegal activities. When a common citizen sees them on the road, he sees them from that mirror. Same thing happened with our Northeast students. So it is very, very highly regrettable. I am shocked to hear that he said that. And to defend that is certainly not acceptable. And let me tell you, whether we accept it or not, it is in our society. And this, as Mr. Verma said, if we do not accept it, we will not find the solution to it. I think the students from Africa in this country are being discriminated against. It is not exactly because they indulge in something wrong, but just because of their skin color. And we Indians, when we get discriminated outside India, we make such a hue and cry, whether it was Khorabade case or Australian case. But if we don't accept the problem, then we will never be able to solve it. And I'm really shocked why Sudhanshu Trivedi is so excited and trying to make it a BJP Congress problem. I live in Bangalore, Sudhanshu. I live in Bangalore, and what happened in Bangalore was during BJP, and what happened last year for the Northeast student was during Congress. So it is irrespective of the government, it is the people. And I don't think any Congress minister told to go and strip this girl, and I don't think your government told Mutalik to do what he did. So please accept it. Don't try to make BJP Congress issue. It's a national issue, it's a national shame. I'm so ashamed of myself living in this city, in this country. If a friend or a student from foreign country is being abused, stripped, and we as a nation see in the bus and don't do it, shame on us.
And then we... And
this is not Indianness, this is not our culture.
And then when we talk of Indianness, then we talk of Hindutva.
What Indianness?
You know, we talk of Indianness and Hindutva by denying my problem tonight, Vikram Singh, is with double standards. Double standards. One second.
I strongly object. Arnab, I strongly object.
What?
I strongly object.
Well, what do you strongly object?
You cannot throw words just like it is verbal violence.
Mister,
who are you to bring in these words here?
On that word?
Arnab is not right.
You have a copyright on the word Hindu or Indian?
It is not copyright, it is insulting the word.
You then please understand. I will tell you the definition of Hindutva and Indianness better than you, sir. I will tell you the definition of Indianness and Hindutva better than you.
You will create your own agenda. You are giving verbal violence. You are creating verbal violence on the media.
Lower your voice, please.
You are misusing the media by creating such a verbal violence.
The problem I have...
Stick to proper words.
Mr. Ratan Sharda, please stop now. The problem I have here is that I'll tell you one thing. Those people who preach about Hindutva are trying to divide one Indian from another, trying to create a Ram Janmabhoomi movement, and then go to Madhya Pradesh and live in a circumstance of hate. Those who profess hate are condemned to be victims of it.
They have accepted everybody all over thousands of years.
You have not done any favor.
You cannot make it as Hindutva issue. Hindutva is most tolerable,
then I'll
most
ask
respectful.
Mr. Ratan Sharda, don't speak over me, otherwise I'll have to lower your volume. Please listen to me.
You should apologize.
The question tonight is this. The question tonight is this. Certainly I will ask the question over and over again, Mr. Ratan Sharda, because by denying that this is racism, you are only showing your double standards. And I'll tell you how. I will tell you how you're showing your double standards tonight, Ratan Sharda. Please be quiet. And can I have Sudhanshu Trivedi on the left-hand side, please? Because I don't want to be interrupted beyond the point. The fact of the matter is that you had no hesitation describing the attacks on Indian students in Australia in 2009 as racist. But when the problem is close to home, you shy away. If the attacks on people from the northeastern part of India, from Africa, is not racist, then what is it? In the context of attacks on Indian students, you have said racism is a blot on humanity and placed the responsibility for preventing the attacks squarely on the Australian government. By the same token, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you this. Do the same politicians, Vikram Singh, not have a responsibility to prevent racism here by acknowledging it in the first place? That question is to you, Vikram Singh.
Absolutely, Arnab. This is not the first time that you have been accused. This is not the first time that we have been accused of double standards. Gunther Grass had said, lofty ideals and lowly conduct, and also empty eternity of the East. Any Indian with a conscience will hang in shame today because of this horrific incident. I will give you cogently and logically why it is a racist incident. Firstly, you wait for 5, 10, 30 minutes and then virtually ambush a car carrying African students, and then you literally, there is a free for all. And it is compounded doubly by your partisan police force. The other damage was done by the political bosses of Karnataka when they said they took the name of the victim against all guidelines of the Supreme Court. They said that the girl had not been stripped, whereas the complaint itself mentioned that she had been stripped. Then to say that it is a hotbed of vice and other undesirable activities, the government empowers you that if you feel that there is something illegal going on, you are at liberty to deport them. Take action as per law. Mr. Pavan Verma has added depth and dimension to the debate. But it does not help our purpose to skirt around the issue, sweep things underneath the carpet, and show me the man and I'll show you the rules kind of a syndrome. If it is a national shame, then arrest should have come promptly. The police should have been proactive. Unfortunately, nothing like this happened, and no wonder this has come as a national shame, and we are discussing it today on the second day itself. But unless we take remedial measures, come down heavily on the perpetrators and also the irresponsible and callous political comments, I don't think there is a silver lining that we can bank upon.
Yeah, before I go to Bosco and to Abigail, who've been waiting there in Bangaluru, who must be shocked at some of the responses that we have on the Newshour tonight, I want to just say one thing to Ratan Sharda and to Sudhanshu Trivedi. Mr. Ratan Sharda and Sudhanshu Trivedi, I will now read out what somebody says, and you tell me whether that is a racist comment or not. A central minister, Giriraj Singh, in April last year, made the most appalling statement that was seeped in racism and sexism when he said, Sudhanshu Trivedi, quote, had Rajiv married a Nigerian lady, had she not been fair-skinned, would the Congress have accepted her leadership? What was that statement, Sudhanshu Trivedi, if not racist? And what action did you take against it? Please tell us tonight.
They promoted him.
They promoted him. Tell me, Sudhanshu Trivedi.
That statement was condemnable, and Mr.
Was
Giriraj
it
Singh has
racist, not
apologized.
condemnable? Was it racist?
And Arnab,
was
if you want to raise those type of incidences, then I would also like to quote what Mr. Beni Prasad Verma, the senior Congress leader, when he was in Samajwadi Party, has used a racist remark against Sonia Gandhi in a Rai Bareli rally. So please do not.
So this is about competitive racism. Thank you. R K Misra. Competitive racism. R K Misra.
This is not right.
Don't try to.
I will go to the R K Misra.
Samajwadi Party for that matter.
One wrong does not justify the other. No, one wrong does not justify the other, Sudhanshu. Let's grow up. Let's go beyond the politics. These are the foreign students who come here. We are supposed to be helping them, protecting them.
Projected as an impression over entire country. This is also wrong. The fact of the matter is, as Mr. Vikram Singh has said, what action has been taken
Nobody, by the way, acceptance of the problem does not mean typecasting the country.
I have quoted several previous incidences. No action has been taken, whether it was the Northeast issue, whether it was the Bihar issue, or whether it was any other issue.
Okay, Bosco and Abigail.
This is a consistent denial of the Karnataka government, which is making the situation from bad to worse.
Sudhanshu, you say one thing. You just say that this incident is condemnable. There is a psyche against different race, different color in this country, which exists whether we agree or not with all of us. But certain section of society.
We feel.
And when a responsible leader, when a responsible leader says something like that, it gives a justification to people to do something like that.
No. The immediate question which emerges. No. Can I get Bosco in, please?
I have not thought through it.
Pavan Verma, after Bosco and Abigail in Bangalore, please. By the way, one second.
A lynching mob mindset.
Sudhanshu Trivedi,
on one point or the other on any
don't support the lynch mob. Don't support the lynch mob. My question to Bosco and to Abigail is this. Bosco, you were on the program last night. Last night, Bosco Kaweesi. Okay, sir, I heard you.
The mob mindset that they attack the second government vehicle.
Okay,
it doesn't mean there is a revolt against the government.
Sir.
So in the meantime,
Sudhanshu Trivedi, 1 minute.
Asking the government to punish the
1 minute. Now just hear me. I have 4 questions I'm putting, and I'm going to Bosco and Abigail. Let us not say there is no prejudice in India on the basis of one skin color. We are a country that sells fair and lovely cream. If there is religious prejudice in India, then Indians are not above prejudice based on race. If there is caste prejudice in India, then Indians are not above prejudice based on race. If there is linguistic prejudice in India, then we are not above prejudice based on race. How is it not racism when appearance is the trigger to be singled out for assault, as was the case in Bangalore? Now, Bosco, you heard the panelists last night and you're hearing the panelists tonight. Instead of an acceptance, the debate becomes more heated. The denials become more fervent. And the comments, including that of the law minister, become more unacceptable. What would you say to those panelists tonight to say no racism at all? You got it all wrong. Bosco and Abigail, over to you, please.
Okay. First of all, I want to respond to what Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, sorry if I don't get your name correctly.
Sudhanshu ji.
As a political advisor, okay, thank you for the correction. I feel so saddened by your response. What is the relationship between ISIS and the Northeast students that we attack in Africa? What is the relationship? You're talking of ISIS, which is an international terrorism, and you're talking of a Northeast student attack, which has to do with a national issue, which has to do with India only. How is it related to the issues happening to Africans here in India?
That this is an overall breakdown of machinery going on in Karnataka.
It's a motivated attempt to cover up the issues that are happening in this country. I feel so saddened by the response that is coming from you, because when Indians listen to this, they feel more powerful to treat us wrongly in this country. First of all, racism exists in India. There is no two ways about it. And only when you accept the truth that it exists, that is when you can solve the problem. You have to start changing the mindset of Indians. We are being treated unfairly in this country. It's been happening for so long. So if you tell me I need to be killed before it's a big deal, before you can call it racism, then that is wrong. That is a bad segment coming from you. Any act of racism, be it beating somebody up, stripping someone naked, slapping me, denying me my right as a human being, is considered as racism. It mustn't be a big case. It mustn't be killing or butchering me for you to see that it is racism. We have to stop covering things up. We have to call a spade a spade. We have to face the truth. We have to dance to the music. Pull the bull by the horn. Stop lying. Stop covering things up. This is not a political debate. It's a national debate on issues affecting foreigners in your country. We are visitors. We are entitled by the Universal Declaration of Law, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to be protected in any country we find ourselves. Now, the Union Minister said, we are committing lots of crimes in this place. What is the relationship with the crimes Africans are committing with the issues that we are facing right now, the current issues? There will be a different time and place to discuss the issues of the crimes committed by Africans in India. And I always say, you can quote me, if any African commits a crime, you have the right to report such an African to the police and let the police do their duty. You have no right as a citizen to take the laws into your hands or
well said.
Do a collective punishment on other innocent people. You have no such right. We have millions of Indians in our country. They do lots of things. They commit all sorts of crimes. We hand them over to the police. However the case is being handled, we don't want to know about it. We've never taken laws into our hands.
Abigail.
So the truth is, there is racism. It exists in India. There are no two ways about it. So we have to face the truth.
Abigail, I hear you. I also want Bosco to come in now. But I want to say one thing before Bosco comes in. And I'm saying this to Sudhanshu Trivedi and to Ratan Sharda tonight. That remember, accepting that there is racism in our country, Ratan Sharda and Sudhanshu Trivedi, does not make you a smaller country. It does not mean that the country is racist. Barack Obama in June 2015 said America is still not cured of racism, and the non-use of the N-word is not a sign that racism had been eliminated. America didn't become small, Ratan Sharda, because Barack Obama said that. In January of this year, David Cameron spoke about stamping out racism being institutional or covert from universities. Allow me to complete, Mr. Sharda. I request you to allow me to complete. I request you hear the facts tonight. David Cameron said, let us remove racism from universities in the United Kingdom. Why are we so reluctant? And let us hear from Bosco tonight, because I want to know, how is it not racism when landlords are asking African students to leave their places as a result of what happened on Sunday? How is it not racism when auto drivers are saying they won't take African students from home to the college? How is it not racism when radio cab you drive drivers refuse to take African passengers. How is it not racism? I want to know the definition of racism if this is not racism.
Really?
Arnab, first of all, I said,
and that's a reality in our country. We want to pull wool over our eyes.
We should not be allowing it. Arnab, did I not say that India has no history of racism?
If we must stop allowing it, we must call out the racism.
All foreigners as ours.
Sorry, Bosco, please.
If there's a distortion, we must stop the distortion. Did I not say the first statement I made? India has a long history of taking people as ours.
You're from Bosco tonight.
If there's a deviation, it must be stopped.
Sir,
I said the first thing. And you are trying to kill the peace. One sentence you are trying to create a whole case of intolerance.
Mr. Trivedi, Mr. Trivedi and Mr. Sharda,
their courts release racist police.
Mr. Trivedi and Mr. Sharda, all I'm doing,
examples which you
all I'm doing is I'm showing you all a mirror.
That will create international tension.
This is my country too. This is my country too.
You are killing that atmosphere by making this
Mr.
statement.
Sharda, please. And I'm saying this tonight, I want Bosco on the screen, please, because otherwise I can't carry on speaking over others. Can that be understood? 1 second. I'm saying tonight, this is my country too. And in my country, I cannot allow a partial or a comprehensive boycott of Africans or people from the Northeast on the basis of the color of their skin or how they look. And that is the point that emerges. Bosco, please, would you like to make your point to Ratan Sharda, please? Bosco, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to say that the issue at stake is attacking innocent people. Under what circumstances and from what perspective? When you refuse to accept that you are sick, the doctor cannot give you the right medicine. If there is no disease outbreak in the area, the scientists cannot go to look for ways how to kill that particular disease if it is not discovered. What I'm saying is, saying that Indians are racist, we might say in India there are some people who are racist.
Exactly.
So what we're looking for here, we cannot say that none of the mob people had racist mentality. We cannot say. There were some who attacked because they felt bad. The lady has been killed in an accident. There are some who were waiting to just react on when seeing Africans. We cannot say, because we are not in the mind of the mob. But the incident which has happened, it is unfortunate. It is like a wake-up call to all of us. Because even among ourselves, the Africans, we have some who are racist. You will find someone who say, I'm a Nigerian, I don't want to mix up with others. Such mentality exists in every mind of a human being. Now, here is a point which the media is trying to put across. Is there a problem in the society? If we say that there is no problem, then we are lying to ourselves. Because every human being has got his own mentality and his own way of thinking. Social scientists, we come across and study the behavior and the characteristics of human being. But looking at the incident itself, the attack, he described that the people themselves, they were just waiting for any black person, if he crosses by, just to beat them. That is the way to handle whether you are innocent or not innocent.
So, Sudhanshu Trivedi, we broadcasting to 82 countries tonight. Yes, Pavan Verma.
But Mr. Ratan Sharda, I want to say to you, Arnab,
we need
that for a long time now, Arnab, for a long time, spokesmen of the RSS speak as if they have a monopoly or a patent on India's civilization.
I'm not a
legacy.
spokesperson.
I want
Mr.
to
Verma,
say,
I'm not a spokesperson of RSS, first of all. I'm not a spokesperson of RSS. I joined this debate as a social analyst.
Your views then are very
I made it very clear. RSS has got nothing to do with this. Don't bring in RSS. Mr. Verma, don't bring in RSS.
Fine, you made your point.
Problem with me, talk to me.
Ratan Sharda,
I have never said it's RSS view. RSS doesn't come into picture. Don't bring RSS into picture.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Pavan Verma, did I bring Sharad Yadav into this? Did I? It's a serious issue. Don't make frivolous comments.
I want to say to you.
Don't make frivolous comments, Mr. Verma. It doesn't behove you.
There are people who.
You are an intelligent person. Stick to your arguments.
Ji, aap meri baat sun lijiye. There are people who believe.
We are the people who have taken everybody along for thousands of years. These are Hindus.
Okay, fine. I got your point. Sudhanshu Trivedi, please back up.
And I want to say to you, that first of all, their claim to that monopoly is wrong. We are proud of India's civilizational achievement and its refinements, but it does not mean that as a society, because of that background, we are perfect, and that there is no scope for reform and change and introspection. I want to say that what happened in Karnataka could have happened in any other state conceivably, because there is a pervasive sense of color consciousness in this brown country. The father of our nation may have fought against racism in South Africa, but even today we are an exceptionally color conscious and hierarchical society, and I believe that there is scope for change and reform. And I want to also say that there are lakhs and millions of Indians.
I want Abigail and Wumbey to close the debate tonight.
How would they react? How would their security and dignity?
All right, 1 second. When I come back on this debate,
because of Africans.
When I come back on the debate tonight, when I come back on the debate, I'm taking just a very short break, just a 2-minute break, and I'm coming back on the debate tonight. I'm going to ask Abigail and Wumbey Mina from Bangaluru and Hyderabad to respond to some of the points made by Sudhanshu Trivedi, but that's after a short 2-minute break. Please don't go away. Okay, I will start by getting Sudhanshu Trivedi on one side to respond to Wumbey Mina from Hyderabad and Abigail from Bangaluru, Wumbey's been listening on to this debate patiently for some time. I want to just say this, Sudhanshu Trivedi, this denial of racism is very dangerous. You don't need to look further. You need to look at the Bosco Committee report, which was set up to look into the concerns of people from the Northeast living in urban centers. And the report notes the daily discrimination expressed in the form of racial slurs towards the Mongoloid features of some people from the Northeast. These words include racial slurs, and comments include the word momo, chinkies, chichi, choo-choo, chow mein, and Chinese. Repeated comments and contours cause hurt, feels when resisted. Physical conflict takes place, like in the case of Nido Tanya. You just need to look at the Bosco Committee report and you'll understand that racism exists. But I want to give the floor to Wumbey Mina, who's listened to the points of view of Sudhanshu Trivedi so far. I'm sure you heard his perspective so far, which is a denial of racism. He says there is a problem, but there is no racism. So I give you the floor, Wumbey Mina, to respond to Sudhanshu Trivedi, please. Go ahead, Wumbey.
Arnab, you yourself admitted that racism is there in India itself. So don't make it a fight between India and Africa, please.
It's not an India-Africa fight. It's about racism. For God's sake, it's about racism. And I'm saying tonight, if there is, I am saying tonight that you are not aware of the facts. You should know that in 2007, Ratan Sharda, you are heckling me now. Mr. Ratan Sharda, when I'm inviting another panelist, please listen to them. You go and check your facts. In 2007, the Delhi police came out with a booklet titled Security Tips for Northeastern Students or Visitors in Delhi. Please understand that. And you should also know all the kind of things which had been said there. It even had advice on cooking habits when it said bamboo shoot, akuni and other smelly dishes should be prepared without creating ruckus in the neighborhood. If I tell you the reality, you don't like it.
Don't tell me what is
if I tell you the reality, you don't like it. You are saying all this because you don't face the racism.
What are you telling me?
Ratan Sharda. Now let Wumbey speak. Wumbey, please. On the screen. Wumbey, please. Responding to Sudhanshu Trivedi. Yes, please.
Okay, it's quite unfortunate he doesn't want to accept the fact that it's a racial attack, because you can see very clearly, everyone will admit to the fact that that incident was a racial attack. Just yesterday, on the issue of racism, an African guy was attacked here in Hyderabad. He was walking innocently and this Indian guy started calling him names. Hey Negro, hey black. And when the guy told him to shut up, he came forward and wanted to fight with him. It turned into a chaos. Now tell me, how do you describe it? What do you call that? You see, I always stick to one point. If you don't accept a problem in a society, there's not going to be a solution. So right now, what he's saying is like he's encouraging the people to do more. But once we come out and we accept that this is our problem, we find a solution, the people will be sensitized. They will be educated that don't do this, don't do... See, if you go back to Africa, I'm from Ghana, and there are a lot of Indians staying back in Ghana. We treat them very well. They have the most hospitable environment they can have. If an Indian commits a crime, I can guarantee you 100%, no mob will beat that Indian. If there's an attack in Tanzania or there's an attack in Nigeria, no mob African will organize and beat that Indian. What the best thing they'll do is to what? Send the person or hand the person over to the police. That is what should have been done.
Sudhanshu Trivedi. I think several
so
examples
don't defend the actions of those mobs.
Absolutely.
Accept the fact that it was a racial attack and apologize to African community.
Arnab, if you look in the realistic, rational manner, it always happens when the two different communities or culture comes together. It's not only Northeast. When a South Indian goes in the North, he said he is sometimes remarked or rebuked as a lungi wala. And when a Sardar came to South India, there is a cracking of the joke. Or sometime in Mumbai, a word Bihari has been used as disrespectful. It doesn't mean there is such a strong racism. It should not be put in that aspect. It is condemnable. It should not be done. But
Abigail,
last line I would like to say, as far as India is concerned, India was never racist and will never racist. And I would like to say in one sentence in Hindi, काले गोरे का भेद नहीं, हर दिल से हमारा नाता है, कुछ और ना आता हो हमको, हमें प्यार निभाना आता है.
No, all that is good. You know, I don't think that's the point which is being understood. So I give the last floor.
Nobody is calling India racist.
Yeah. इसमें हमारी कोई हिंसा नहीं है. हम और बड़े होंगे उसके वजह से.
We have to accept it.
India was never racist. India is not racist, and India will never be the racist. If India becomes racist, I can say that no country in the world will remain which is not racist.
चले जाएंगे और सामाजिक सुधार नहीं करेंगे.
You see,
हमारे मित्र देश हैं.
But Pavan Verma is the only spokesperson who is representing the United Progressive Alliance, and his UPA government is Karnataka, but has never answered a single question raised on the issue of Karnataka.
Finally, I'd say this. I give the floor to I'm going to close with Abigail. 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 But I just say this before I go to Abigail. It's not that India is racist, but there is racism in India. How is it not racism when people from the northeast of India are abused, and should I say this clearly tonight, are abused and told to go to China on the basis of their appearance? Is that not an abuse of human rights? Is that not an abuse of the idea of the India of equality? We want to live in denial about it. Today these Africans are asking for our help, and we are turning around and saying to them, you've got it all wrong. So will we say that to you tonight? I'd say to you, Abigail, all of India says to you that we are with you. It's a shame that our politicians tonight are not standing up and saying that this is racism. We don't feel that there is shame in accepting that there is racism. It will make us a better country with that acceptance, not with the denial. I give the floor to Abigail if she'd like to say anything to Ratan Sharda and Sudhanshu Trivedi, please.
I want to say something briefly, and I want to ask the Indians, I want to ask Mr. Trivedi and the other speaker that
Mr.
constantly said that this is not an act of racism, Mr. Sharda. Tell me, what is the concept Gandhi preached about, ahimsa? Where is that? Where is it in India? Have you guys forgotten about it so soon? Ahimsa means non-violence. So what are you telling me? You've forgotten the preaching of Gandhi. All the things he did, he walked and suffered to see that everybody comes together. That the lower caste is being accepted, the higher caste, the Brahmins, the Shudras, the Vaishyas, the Panchamas, everyone comes together to make one India. What is happening to the values of India? If you, as an elderly man, as an elder statesman, is constantly saying there is no racism, then what are you talking about? Anyways, the situation on ground right now is an eye-opener.
If I were you, I would listen to my first argument.
For India, it is a time for
the
India
first argument I made
to realize that they have
what
a
you're saying
problem
now.
and they have to start solving.
Yes, Abigail, I agree
problem.
with you.
So what I'm going
This
to
is
say
what
to
I
you
started
is,
off with.
whether you accept
You are
it is an act
imputing
of
motives.
racism or not, is up to you, but
My
we know
first
what
argument
we are
itself was what you're saying now.
Country.
I said we have a tradition of bringing people together. I said we have tradition of welcoming everybody aboard, and what has happened is
That
bad.
is what we are saying.
You are lecturing around Gandhi. We have accepted Gandhi's teachings.
So we really
What has happened is wrong. That was the first statement I made. I said Indians accept everybody. Africans are our brothers. Africans are sisters.
That this is a problem.
But that one incident should not be treated as if the whole India is burning against you. That's a very wrong way of putting the whole scenario.
No, we are not generalizing it. We are not generalizing it. Don't get us wrong. We are saying in a civilized India, some Indians are racist. Some Indians are uncivilized. Some Indians have forgotten the values of which Gandhi fought for in this country.
You are not listening
to we are not generalizing it. We are saying some Indians are racist.
And some Indians...
And the government should wake up and try to solve the situation in the country.
Well, and some Indians are also embarrassed when some Indians are also embarrassed tonight when
not all Indians are racist. Some Indians are racist. Some Indians are uncivilized. Some Indians are backward in their thinking. Some Indians
I want to hear her.
feel that there is no problem in their country, so that is bad.
I want to respond.
And we want an apology to the African community. We want an apology from the Union Minister for saying that this is not an act of racism. We want an apology from Mr. Trivedi, from Mr. Shaka, and every other Indian political stakeholder that has made a racist statement against us. We are here in this country for peace. We are paying money to school in your country. We are paying money to get medical treatment. We are paying money to visit tourist sites. Why should we be treated wrongfully in this country? And you have videos, you have pictures to ascertain the truth of the matter, and you are still refusing to call a spade a spade. Then that is ignorance of the highest order. And that is a disrespect on the ahimsa that Gandhi preached about.
Sudhanshu Trivedi, I think Abigail has said what is absolutely right. No point living in denial about it. I'm closing the debate. Abigail, I only say this to you. Abigail, I say this to you. I say this to you. We don't find it embarrassing when someone from Africa, out of respect for the values that Gandhi taught us, reminds us of the values we are supposed to abide by. Having values is one thing. Preaching values is one thing, Ratan Sharda. Practicing them is another.
That has given an answer to you or no? That India was never a racist country.
Yes, what happened for last 70 days?
Don't. I think I'm closing the debate at this point. Anyway, Ratan Sharda and Sudhanshu Trivedi, if you want to be in denial, that's your choice. That's your choice. We are with the African brothers and sisters tonight. We are with our African brothers and sisters tonight on this. And that makes us better Indians, not worse Indians. We stand with our African brothers and sisters tonight. And standing with our African brothers and sisters tonight does not make us worse Indians.
I said the same thing.
It makes us better Indians. I thank you all for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you.